Welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ez Hashem on top of Daf Vav Amud Beis at the two dots. Omar Rovim bar Rav Ado Omar Rabbi Yitzchok Kol harogel lovo lebeis hakneses v'loi ba yom echad HaKadosh Baruch Hu mashil boi. All who are accustomed to coming to the Beis HaKnesses and miss a day, when he misses that day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu inquires about his whereabouts. Shene'emar, it says, Mi bochem yirei Hashem Shomea bekol avdoi. Who amongst you are of the Yirei Hashem, who listen to his servant's voice? Asher holach hasheichim, and he goes in darkness, ve'ein noiga lo, he will not have light. Im ledvar mitzvah holach, if he missed by coming to the Beis HaKnesset because there was a dvar mitzvah, so noiga lo, he will have light. However, ve'im ledvar harishus holach, if he did not come to the Beis HaKnesset before a Dvar Rishus, for example, he thought that he was going to make more money, and therefore he opened his office or his store earlier that morning, and as a result he was not able to come to the Beis HaKnesset, ein noigaloi, he will not have light, he will not be successful. Yiftach b'shem Hashem, the pasuk goes on to say, he shall trust in the Shem Hashem. My time mishum dahavolei liftach b'shem Hashem v'lo botach. He should have trusted in Hashem and he did not do so. Says the Gemara, Vaiter Amar b'Yochanan, B'sho sheHaKadosh Baruch Hu ba bebeis hakneses, v'lo motza ba asora, miyad hu koyes. At the time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is ready to come to the Beis HaKnesses and join the minyan of 10 men, and he sees that there are not 10 men at the time that the minyan is supposed to be, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gets angry, kaviyochel. Shene'emar, it says, Madua bosi ve'ein ish. Why is it that I come and there's not a person? Karasi, I call ve'ein oine, and they're always answering. Says the Gemara, Vaiter Amar b'Chelboi Amar Rav Huna, a series of statements by Reb Chelbo in the name of Rav Huna. Kol hakoiveya makom letfilosoi, all who set a fixed place to daven consistently in the same place. Elokei Avram be'ezroi. The Elokei of Avram, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Elokei Avram, is going to be his helper. Ukeshemeis, and when he dies, they're going to say a great hesped upon him. Oimim, they will say about him, I'onov ichosid mitalmidav shel Avram Avinu. Oy is this Onov who we lost. Oy is this chosid that we lost. One of the students of Avram Avinu. V'Avram Avinu minolo and dekova makoim. Where do we know that Avram Avinu set a fixed place to pray, to daven? Dirshu vayashkem Avram baboiker el hamokom asher omad sham. And Avram got up early in the morning to the place. There's an emphasis el hamokom, that he stood there. Vein amida ela tefillah. And amida refers to tefillah. That's how we call the Shemona Esrei. We're standing before Hashem, the Melech. Shene'emar vayamod Pinchas vayipolel, and Pinchas stood, and he made judgment, referring to a reference to tefillah. V'Amar Rabbi Chelbo, another statement on Rav Huna, hayoytze mi beis hakneses al yapsia psia gaso. When a person leaves the Beis HaKnesses, he shall not make a hasty footstep and show that he's as if he wants to then throw down a burden. It's a burden upon him to be Beis HaKnesset, so he runs out. No, chas v'sholom. Omar Abayi lo yamon elu lemeipak, aval lemeyal mitzvah lemaharet. Abayi says that's only when he's leaving the Beis HaKnesset. When he's running out, then it shows that he doesn't want this load, so to speak. It's a burden upon him. But when a person enters the Beis HaKnesset, there he should dafka run. Shene'emar, as it says, Neido, nirdefo ladas is Hashem. Let us know, let us pursue to know Hashem. Omar Rabbi Zeira Meresh Ki Hava Chazina Lul Rabban. In the beginning, I used to see the Rabbanan, the Karahati Lepirko B'Shabboto. They were running to hear the drasha on Shabbos. Amina, I said to myself, Kamechalin Rabbanan Shabboto. The Rabbanan Mechalo Shabbos. After all, you're not supposed to run on Shabbos. Kivan deshamana loho, the Rabbi Tanchum Amar Yoshua ben Levi. Once I heard the statement The Ritanchum said in the name of Yeshua ben Levi, La'olam yorutz adam ledvar halacha ve'afilu b'Shabbos shenema achrei Hashem yelechu ke'ayish yishag, that forever a person always should run for dvar halacha afilu on Shabbos, dvar mitzvah afilu b'Shabbos. As the pasuk says, after Hashem they will go like the strength of a roaring lion. Onanami rahitna, I also followed suit and ran to do a dvar mitzvah, or to hear a shir in halacha. Omer Rabbi Zera agra de pirko rehato. The schar for hearing the shir, which most people did not understand, is the running, the pursuing, the excitement to get to that shir. Omar Abaye agra de kala doichko. They used to have a shir in Torah before the Chagim, before Sukkot, before Pesach, before what we call Shabbos HaGadol and Shabbos Shuvah, and in that Shabbos they'd have special drashos about the halachos of Pesach and the halachos of Sukkot. The schar that a person got over there, again, not necessarily understanding everything that was said, is doichka, because over there it was very crammed. All the people gathered to hear the shir from the Rav. Omarova agu de shmaitze svara. The schar for the give and taking, the give and take back and forth of understanding the sugya, is that svara of trying to understand. Omarav pope agra de beitamyo shtikuso. The schar for coming and being menachel in Ovel, in the Beis HaOvel, is shtikusa, first being silent and waiting for him to then first speak and then addressing the Ovel. Omar Maizutro agra de tanisa tzidkosa. The schar for tainis is giving tzedakah to the poor people. Omar Rav Sheishis agra de hespeda diluye. The reward for giving hesped is causing people to cry for the one who passed away, feeling the loss. Omar Rav Ashi agra de behilule mili. The schar for a chasana, to be misameh chasan v'kala, is words, like it says in the Gemara in Ksubis Daf Yud Zayin Amud Aleph Keitza Merakim Lifnei Akala. And there Rashi explains, how do we speak? What do we say to the chasin to praise the kala in front of him? Says the Gemara Vaiter, Amar Rav Huna HaKol HaMispalel Acharei Beis HaKnesses Nikra Rosha. All who daven behind the Beis HaKnesses. For example, a person davens in the back with his body, his face turns in the opposite direction of the tzibor davening. As the Gemara will explain, Shneimar Soviv Rishoim Yishalechun. The Rishoim, they walk all about. Omar Abaye Loi Omar Elo de Loi Mahade Ape Lebe Kenishta, where he turns his face from the direction where everybody else is davening, the Beis HaKnesses, and he is showing Chalil that he's koifer in the one that everybody else is davening towards. Ava Mahade Ape Ba'ape Lebe Kenishta Leslon Bo. But if he indeed is davening the back, but he is facing where everybody else is facing, then there's not a problem with that. The Gemara brings a Maisa where a man was davening in the Beis HaKnesset in the back. In fact, he was then turned in the opposite direction. Cholof Eliyahu, he visited upon him. Chazi Idme, he saw him. Idme lei Betaya, he dressed like an Arab. Omar lei, he said to him, Kedu bar kayemes kamei marech. Are you turning in front of the Almighty as if there are shtei reshuyos? There's another power as well. Chas v'sholom. Sholof safsero v'katle. He took out his cherev and he killed him. Omar le'ahum rabban Rav Bibi bar Abaye v'amrei lo Rav Bibi l'Rav Nachman bar Yitzchok. What is meant by the following verse Kirum Zulus Levnei Adam. It says in this pasuk that there's a baseness is exalted amongst the people. Omale, he said to him, Elu dvorim she'oimdim berumoy shel olam, uvnei adam mezalvin bohen. It's a play on the words. Krum is lashon berumoy shel olam, at the heights of the world. Uvnei adam mezalzelin, to play on the word zelus, but levnei adam. And people are mezalzel. They're talking about tefillah, for example. That tefillah goes all the way up in the Rumah Shel Olam, and people are not careful enough to then daven with the proper kavana intent towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Elazar, the Amrei Travayu, Kivan shenitztarech Adam lebrios, Ponav mishtanos kichrum. When a person has to come on to other people for his parnasa, then his face changes. Kikrum. Shene'emar krum zlus levnei adam. My krum, what's meant by krum? Ki also ravdimi amar oif echod yesh bekarke hayam. There's a certain bird in the faraway cities of the Yam. Ukrum shmoi, and his name is Krum. What's unique about him? The kivan shechama zarachas mishapeches lekama gevonim. When the sun shines on him, his birds, his feathers turn to very many different colors. So too, this person becomes embarrassed having to come on to somebody else for his parnasa. Rabbi Ami, Rabbi Asi, the Amrei Travayu, Ki'ilu Nidoin B'Shnei Dinim, Eish Umayim. They consider as if he is being judged by Eish and Mayim. Shene'emar, as it says here, Kavta Enosh, L'Roshenu Bonu Be'eish Uvamayim. You have mounted the person and above his head, and we enter like Eish and like Mayim. And again, a reference to the embarrassment where a person's face becomes red like Eish and then becomes pale like Mayim. Says the Gemara Vayter v'Omer Rabbi Chelbo Rav Huna, La'olam Yehei Adam Zohir B'Tfilas HaMincha. A person should always be careful with Tfilas HaMincha. By the way, Mincha is a time which is difficult for many. After all, a person is in the middle of his day and he can get caught off with different activities, whether it's in the workplace and other things that he might be doing, and therefore he has to be extra careful in his Mincha. Sharei Eliyahu Navi Lo nena ele b'tfilas hamincha. For after all, Eliyahu Navi, who was careful with tfilas hamincha, he was answered. Dafka then, Shneimah, it says, Vayhi bahalois hamincha, Vayagesh Eliyahu Navi vayomer, Aneni Hashem Aneni, Hashem, answer me, answer me. Aneni shetered eish min hashamayim. Aneni, answer me that there should be a fire that comes down from heavens. Ve'aneni shelo yomu Masechet shofim, and answer me that they should not claim that it's coming from Masechet shofim. Rabbi Yochanan Omar, af betfilas arvis. You have to even be careful with tfilas arvis. Shenemar, tikon tfilasi kitares lefonecha, masas kapai minchas orev. Let my tefillah stand like the burning of the incense before you. The lifting up of my hands, let it be like a mincha offering in the Erev. Rav Nachum bar Yitzchok Omar, af tefillah shacharis, even tefillah shacharis, you must be careful. Shenemar, Hashem boiker tishma, koili, boiker erach lecho va'atzape. That means in the morning, I will then arrange my tefillos and wait expectingly. In other words, in conclusion, one must be careful with all of the tefillos. Arvis, Shacharis, and Mincha, all three tefillos, a person has to be careful. For after all, each one is so valuable. Says the Gemara of Amr Yechelboy, Amr Rav Huna, Kol hanene mesudas chason ve'eno mesamchoy, oiver bechamisha koilos. Anybody who has enjoyment, pleasure at the sudas chason ve'kala, and he is not mahane, he's not mesameach, that chason, then he's over 5 kolos, as the Gemara brings a pasuk to this effect. Shneimar, kol sosoin v'kol simcha, kol choson v'kol kala, kol oimim hoidu es Hashem tzvokos. That's if he is not misamech the chosin. What happens if he is yes misamech the chosin? What is his schar? V'misamchoi mascharoi. Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, zoiche l'Torah, he zoiche to Torah, shenitna b'chamisha kolos, which was given with 5 kolos. Shene'emar, as it says in the pasuk, vayi b'yom hashlishi, on the 3rd day when the Torah was given, b'yos haboiker vayi kolos, that's plural, ubrokim, va'anan kaved alahar, v'kol shoifar, that's number 3, vayi kol ha-shoifar, a 4th kol, v'alokim yanenu b'kol, 5 kolos. Frek de Gemara Eini. Is that it? We find that there are more kolos. The Haksiv, it says, V'cholaam roim es ha-kolos. There are additional kolos. Says the Gemara, no, oisan kolos, in the latter passage that we just brought, those are kolos the koidam matan Torah havu. Those were kolos that were before, that preceded the matan Torah. Says the Gemara, Bi'abohu Amar Ki ilu hikriv toida. If a person is masameh chosin, then it's as if he brought a korban toida. As that pasuk goes on to say, Shneimar mevin toida beis Hashem. Rav Nachem bar Yitzchak Omar Ki ilu bona achas mechurvos Yushalayim. Shneimar, as it says in the pasuk, Ki oshiv eshvus ha'oretz. I will return the captivity of the land as a first Seder HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As a first Seder HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Another statement by Reb Chelboy Amar Rav Huna, Kol Adam Sheyesh Bo Yiras Shomayim Devoro Nishmoin. All who have Yiras Shomayim, his words are going to be heard. They're going to be taken seriously. Shene'emar, as the pasuk states, at the end of Koheles, Soif Davar Kol Nishma Es Elokim Yora Ma Ki Zeh Kol Adam. What's meant Zeh Kol Adam? After all, you just explained that the verse is saying that the person who has Yireh Elokim, all of his words are heard. So what does it mean afterwards? Ki Zeh Kol Adam. Or Rabbi Elazar Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kol ha'olam kuloi lo nivra ela b'shvil zeh. The entire world was created for this person who has Yireh Shamayim. Rabbi Abba Bar Kahano Omar Shokol zeh kineged kol ha'olam kuloi. That indeed there are other people that surround the universe, that surround the world rather, and nonetheless he is shokol, he is equal to all of them because of his Yireh Shamayim. Rabbi Shimban Azai Oimer v'amrei lo Rabbi Shimon ben Zoyma Oimer Kol ha'olam kulo lo nivra elo litzavois lezeh. The entire world was created in order to then connect themselves to this individual who has Yireh Shamayim, because after all, it will rub off on them, and therefore they should come close to him, they should help him, they should have a connection and a relationship with such a person who has Yireh Shamayim. V'omer Bichel b'am Rav Huna if he knows that there's a person that he's going to come in contact with, who will then give him shalom, then what should be his reaction? Then precede him. Yakdim loy shalom. Give him shalom before even he gives you shalom. Shene'emar bakesh shalom v'radfehu. It says, seek out peace and pursue it. Says the Gemara, what happens if he preceded you and you did not return shalom? And if he then gave you shalom and you did not return shalom, Nikra Gazlon, he's called a Gazlon. Shene'emar, it says in the pasuk, ve'atem bi'artem hakerem gazalte ha'oni mibatechem. The pasuk over here says, ve'atem bi'artem hakerem Gezelas ha'ani mibatechem. Why gezelas ha'ani? Any gzela, even if it's from a wealthy person, of course, is called gzela. What's the emphasis? Gezelas ha'ani mibatechem. It means that even an ani who has no possessions, still a person that ani who gave you shalom, you're to return him shalom, and if not, you're goizel from this ani, and you're called a gazlan.